Jeez.
Hello, welcome back to the F1 podcast. For today, we're looking at our predictions for the 2025 season and the cars revealed and the first season. So, we're going to be looking at what we think before the pre-season actually even happens, how it will change throughout the course of the season, as well as making 5 bold predictions. I'm joined by Sahwgunn, who's actually the host.
We're technically co-hosts for this point out. I'm just used to doing intros, but I think we should have them like one by one. I guess I did the intro for the next one. So more of a co-host, and it's I know it's on my channel, but I feel like this is like half and half work kind of thing. We should split the deeds. All right. I'm very excited for this one. Finally, it's time for the predictions. Pre-testing predictions. We'll actually do like second batch of predictions after testing, so we have more of an idea of how the season will look like. Obviously, probably both of them will be pretty far off, but hopefully we can be at least a little bit close. It's obviously very unpredictable with this season specifically. Yeah, I'm excited. Okay. When it comes to the standings, I feel like we should do like 2 drivers and team, and then we'll go to the bold predictions separately. So I think I was okay. No. You were starting last time, so I guess I'm the one to start now, and I'm gonna start with from the bottom to top. You can obviously do it your way. I assume you will. Okay, you do the same. Okay. E20 for the season is Jack Doohan. Obviously, it's very likely that Colapinto replaces Doohan throughout the season. Well, more than likely, it's according to some sources, basically confirmed that Doohan only gets the first few races, and unless he beats Gasly, which is very unlikely in itself, probably doesn't remain in the seat, which is very unfortunate. I was looking forward to see Doohan do the entire season. He's obviously one of the rookies, very promising rookies as well. Just not like one of those super talents like Antonelli and Behrman, probably that get so much more hype. Colapinto, he impressed last year. He did. I'm not saying he didn't, but it was like another Max Verstappen or whatever. Most of his value come from I think the marketing he brings with himself. Like he's the only driver from South America. There's a lot of support for him down there, and well, there still is, like, even though he's not driving F1, that's all I mean. Yeah, most fans of Colapinto just came over to the Alpine camp, and they're basically like already. I don't like the situation with the social media. Basically, all the Colapinto fans are already jumping on Doohan, and it's just not very pleasant to look at. Generally, I think Doohan should get a full season in, but it's a cruel world of Formula One. You don't always get what you deserve, and unfortunately with Doohan, I think he ends up last out of the 20 drivers we have to select. Because obviously we're not gonna put Colapinto into these predictions and put 21 drivers in, because like we're gonna put a driver that's not being confirmed to drive in yet. I think that would be silly. So Doohan, despite I think Alpine being a pretty solid car this season, I just don't think Doohan will outscore the drivers that will get 24 races of the season to perform in. All right. Or to I think I should do P19 as well. With since we're doing the team predictions as well. Sorry for interruptions. You obviously disagree. That's a bit of a spoiler. Okay. P19. This was a difficult one. I think I'm going with Isaac Hajar. This is mostly due to me thinking I think the Racing Bulls car will not be as strong as last year. I think there will regress little, not like to whatever the level Sauber was at last year. I just feel like there will be in the mix, getting a few points here and there, but just not consistently near the top of the midfield. I feel like they will be like competing for points on some in some Grand Prix, just not often enough to be in contention for higher up spots. I generally don't think the team will have enough speed. I think still the midfield will be very close, and the gap between the fifth best team and the 10th best team will not be as big as it was last year. I generally think that the midfield will be very close, and despite him being P19, I think Hikuber will end up being much higher if they will get a better car this season. This is more of a car thing. Obviously, Hajar is an unknown. He's a rookie. Tsunoda will most likely come out on the top. That's my prediction. And for the P10 in the constructors, kind of already self-explanatory. Racing Bulls, in my opinion, gets the P10. The first time, maybe ever. Not quite sure that team they went through a lot of team change, a lot of name changes, but I don't think that team was ever last in the constructors. Maybe wrong, but I just don't particularly feel well I just don't think confident that the team can build a better car than the other 9 teams. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. All right, over to you. I know we've been waiting to talk. Sorry for me being a little talkative today.
Sauber once again, Gabriel Montanelli.
Bartonelli. Bartoletto. Sorry. I was like confused. Did you mean Antonelli or did you mean him?
Season, but yeah, my memories behind this is that obviously Sauber knows going to be in the sport next year. I don't see why they prime, prime.
Yeah.
They might as well give out the car they did last year. So that's my thinking. I'm not going to go with Hulkenberg though, just because I think you can count boots every now and again. So I'm going to go Isaac Kajar as well. I do agree with you. I don't really see this car being that quick this season. The Racing Bulls. I don't know why. It just feels like there's some sort of thing going on there. And they had a gradual decline at the start of the season to the end of the season last year. I think the focus, we'll go on the later. I think the focus is going to be on the Red Bulls for the next few years. And as I hinted at earlier, Sauber are going to be my last place. Car, I really don't think there's even further. Really bother try this season because it's going to be out in too much work.
Yeah, the same argument can be said for a lot of teams on the grid. Why bother trying this year if we're getting the big wrecks? They had the worst cut last year, but towards the end, they were actually like fairly competitive. And unlike like scoring points like often, but they scored points once. They were in Q3 at the last race with Bottas. I think that car towards the end was actually relatively decent in the midfield. When it comes to this season, in the midfield, it's much more of a dice roll when it comes to like car performance, because he's not like fine tuning already very good cars. It's like finding huge leaps of performance down there, like we saw with Haas from 2023 to 2024. They just randomly sorted out their tire issues and suddenly they were actually competitive. Like Hulkenberg was almost P10 in the standings, driver standings, which is kind of crazy to think where they were in 2023 compared to 2024. Everyone was riding Haas off in 2024 at the start of the season, because they themselves were saying like they come to the season expecting to be last and maybe fighting for P9 or whatever. They just came in and almost got a very good result with like P6 in constructors, ended up in P7 with Hulkenberg in P11 in the drivers. So like very good season for Haas. This season, I don't particularly feel like Sauber will do the same, but I don't feel like they will be that far off. I think a solid midfield car, just occasionally being there, occasionally not. The similar thing to Williams this season. Like Williams ended up in P9, and I don't think people think that 2024 Williams was like a tractor that never scored points. Like they're in the points, not often, but often enough for them to be considered like a alright car. Like Colapinto was up there in some races in the top 10 as a rookie. Not to take anything from Colapinto, the Williams was in some parts of the season pretty good, and I think the similar thing can happen to Sauber. Yeah, the teams will ride off next season, but I don't think it will be like that bad for Sauber. Generally, don't think they will be very good, but Bortoleto P18. Yeah, not the greatest season, just not that last. That's what pretty much want to explain. And yeah, Bortoleto, Gabriel, won back-to-back F3 and F2. The something that only three drivers have done before him: Charles Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, and George Russell. All three are quite memorable drivers, I would say, in today's Formula One. Don't think Bortoleto is like on that super elite level, but I don't think he will be like that far off of Hulkenberg, especially after what we saw from Behrman last season. Hulkenberg is beatable. He's not like super elite Max Verstappen talent. He's getting towards the end of his career, and he's beatable, definitely. I don't think Bortoleto will beat Hulkenberg over an entire season, but I think it'll be much closer than people think. With Bortoleto in P18 and Nico Hulkenberg in P17. That means Sauber is P9. It may look weird that that Sauber is above Racing Bulls. I will explain it later when I get to other drivers. You can go on now.
I think he'll get enough of a drive, enough points, however many races that he gets. Whether that's 5 races or 2 races. I'm guessing about 6. So yeah, they're all the same reasons. I don't think it's his goal. So I wasn't sure, even when they hired him, why they had done that. So yeah, we're going to accept that. And that's even before politics have got into sport. I was unsure if I'm completely honest. So yeah, that's why I'm happy there. And next up we have again an equal Sahwgunn. I am also going to go for Portugal. That's purely because all the same reasons you said again. I think he'll do well in the car he's given, but I'm sensing a lot of, 11s at best, and only when true disaster strikes will he actually see I wish he'd get podium, but it's looking unlikely. Hopefully the Audi push it maybe the next. And then I'm going to head on down and pick racing balls, swapped off to, well, to, I should say, cars, racing balls purely. As I said before, I think they had a bad year last year, especially towards the end of the season. The car seemed to evolve, and I think that it's going to be all hands on deck into trying to figure out how to make that Red Bull fast. And the racing balls going to be a little less, obviously they're with their own team, but what they are the system.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about my predictions themselves. Maybe I should have switched something up, but yeah, I'm gonna stick with what I've already went with. P16, Yuki Tsunoda can explain the situation in Racing Bulls. I don't feel like that car will be horrendous, but P10 in the standings just looks worse than it will be, in my opinion. I think they will be in the fight for points at some occasions. And generally, I think Sauber will score more points. That driver pairing will be closer than the Racing Bulls one. And that's basically why I think Sauber will be above. Maybe a difference of 1 or 2 points at that level of Constructors' Championship, really. It may just come down to a random P9 in a random race. I think all drivers, maybe apart from Doohan, will score points since season. When it comes to the top 20, cannot possibly know how many drivers will sub in this season, because I don't think anyone expected that many drivers in the standings last season. Like that, 24, I think, in total. That's much more than 20 that we started with. It's very difficult to think about the top 20 when the top 20 may not even be out of the 20 drivers actually driving the season. Because last year we had Bottas in outside of the top 20, despite being one of the better drivers that season. It's difficult situations to rank, but I feel like this makes sense. For P15, I'm going with Lance Stroll. I don't think Aston Martin will be particularly good this season. I think all their aim should be at the next one, with Honda coming in and 2026 Rex, Adrian Newey, and so on. That's their aim. I don't think they will think about this season much, because especially when they bring upgrades, those upgrades don't tend to bring them speed, rather than most of the time it's just regress with upgrades, which is the exact opposite of what they should be doing. Stroll, I don't think that he will have a good season. Pretty much average Stroll season, being beaten by Fernando at most occasions, just being there. Maybe just randomly having a performance 1 in 20 races or whatever. Just as we saw last year, he had a couple of moments where he looked all right or decent, but just the rest of it was awful. And unless he or his dad decides otherwise, he will just stay in Formula 1 and have seasons like these, because it's just and P8 in the constructors. I was thinking about this one for a bit. I think I'm going with Williams. Yeah, no Williams drivers in the last 6 spots. I will explain this further down the line as we go for the predictions. So yeah, Okay, your turn. Hmm.
The people that Sonoda, great driver, the put in 14th position, doesn't look like he has any escape now, really. It's probably maybe a hope of Alex pass, but I don't think that. I really don't think there is any hope of escape from that team. For Sonoda, I can't see him going anywhere else. And yeah, that's kind of a sad reality of F1. He's been a good driver, especially the last few years. But yeah, I predicted 60, and then I'm playing in my head where Stroll's a good shout.
Very obvious.
Oh gosh, I think I'm gonna put down. That says something about my I'm not sure all the messes that Alpine seem to make for itself. Obviously, they did really well to come back last season and to finally have a quick car come the end of the season. But that was a quick singular car. The other one was the business. But yeah, I think they keep making their messes. I think it's doing things they could roll through the season and be a focus for them. Especially if they do swap in with Colapinto, then there's a lot of eyes on them again. So I think they keep making messes, right? And I think it goes all the way back to when they were desperate for yeah.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I think they have just been a mess of a team. And I expect that to sort of roll into the next season as well, which makes sense as to why I have Kelsey there. Slow car. It's difficult, right? Because at one point I'm like, okay, Dylan's going to do pretty decently, and then I'm like, Kelsey's going to needs some very few races to go, and then I'm like, Kelsey's going to struggle. I'm not sure, right? I'm just making a vague prediction, sort of backing against myself. So I'm going to put Alpine in A. It's just because I believe, like, Williams have two really good drivers. I believe has two really good drivers. And as I say, Alpine sometimes finding themselves in messes. It is also, sorry, don't just copy.
Okay, I think we're gonna differ a lot in the next few picks. This is where I will. Okay, I've actually thought of the entire thing. I'm doing this spontaneously, but also thinking about it quite a bit. Basically, I think this will be very mixed up. I just don't think those drivers will be super close to each other as those yeah, there will be very close driver pairings like the Sahwgunn, but other than that, many of them I think will be quite far off from each other. Also, when it comes to the Alpine one, I should probably mention I think Colapinto will step in and be that second Alpine driver for the remainder of the season. But I cannot rank him because he's officially not F1 right now. So I could basically put him in P14 and put everyone else down the spot, but I will not because yeah, there's not even a P21 spot in this spreadsheet. Basically, that's what what I wanted to say, that he would probably be around this place that I'm gonna rank, but I'm not gonna put him there, mainly because my reasoning. So P14 instead, Alex Albon. Williams P8, I think they will put up a solid fight with the other midfield teams. Just yeah, it will be another Williams season. Not particularly speedy and not like horrendous. They will have some good moments, like last year. Like yeah, they had very bad moments, but there were some pretty decent moments. They had a stretch after the summer break, but they were like getting top tens in most sessions. Yeah, I think something similar could happen this year. And they have a much better driver lineup than last year. That has to be said, because it's the first time I'm putting Albon below his teammate, like since basically his Red Bull days. P13 Carlos Sainz. Yeah, this is one of the last close driver pairings, I think, in the midfield. Particularly when it comes to points, I think they're very, very close to each other. And yeah, I don't have the I just don't I just cannot predict the gap. I just know they're really very close. And if I had to put money on it, I would probably put Sainz over Albon. Yeah, I haven't been defending Albon for the last few years. I'm pretty much can be seen as not an Albon believer, but that's mostly due to him being not proven, because his teammates were Latifi and Sargent and then Colapinto. That's not any benchmark whatsoever, so I just couldn't have ranked him among other drivers on the grid for a long time. I'm very excited to see him up against actual driver who's proven himself. Like Sainz is one of the lead drivers. He's been winning races last year, and seeing Albon next to a driver that I believe is very good. If he can prove himself against Sainz, then he's pretty much proving me wrong, proving my words wrong that I have been saying for the past couple of seasons. But yeah, who knows how this fight will end up looking like, but I think it should be very close. At least that's what I think. P8 in the constructors, Aston Martin. Sorry, P7. P8 is Williams. P7, Aston Martin. Obviously, so P15 doesn't help their constructors' efforts, and yeah, not much to say there. I think they will mostly focus on 2026 for obvious reasons.
Starting with, I'd say Ollie Behrman. First new season, Haas isn't particularly a super quick team. They had a very good 24. But again, the team is going to focus on next year. I do expect them to do fairly well as a team that is Behrman's first year. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I do think he'll at least show some good skill in that car, at the very least. Then up next, I am going to hit it with the. I'm going to go Sainz instead of Albon, just purely because I think Albon has been there for a while. He's a lot more fitted in with the team and so on, and it can take a few months to sort of get over that. Obviously, Williams tend to do really well between basically the Great Britain back to-ish time. So Sainz will have got up to speed by then. But I feel like Albon could do that to come to start as well. Just sort of in my head. And for me, I'm going to then put Williams up next in the driving rankings.
Interesting. Okay. Putting Williams in P7 basically indicates that the gap between your Haas drivers is larger than your Williams drivers. Alright. Okay, understand. All right. Sorry. B12. Oli Behrman. I think he will have a very solid rookie season with a lot of great performances. Just he's up against a very good driver in Esteban Ocon. Well, still one of the most underrated drivers on the grid. When given a good car, he can excel in many conditions and many situations. Yeah, last year didn't end very well for him. He was being treated well. Who knows the truth? I don't, and probably will never know unless someone in Alpine speaks out. But I don't think Ocon was treated fairly towards the end. Like the gap to Gasly was just suddenly Perez levels. Like it was not something that that was natural. I don't. I just think there was some sabotage going on. Not maybe not like in that sense of a word, but just not giving fair treatment to both drivers. Can understand that, but it's very unfair to Ocon, who's been at that team for quite a long time as well before that, and won a race for them in Hungary back in 2021 as well. Um, okay, I should have talked about Behrman instead of I talked about Ocon. Oh, my bad. Ollie's gonna have a good season, but he's gonna be beaten by his very good teammate as well. So yeah, P11, Fernando Alonso, decent season, worse than last year, mainly because I don't think Aston Martin will begin as the fourth fastest car like last year. They will basically begin in a midfield and will not move anywhere near the top four teams. And yeah, still Fernando is the lead. He's basically gonna extract most out of any car he's given, and yeah, he's mostly just motivated for next year. And I don't think I think that could motivate him to basically try as much this year to remain in form, to remain as good as you basically can be for 2026, because that's the big year for Aston Martin. And yeah, one of the best drivers in the midfield. I think P11 is very suitable for him. And P6 in the constructors, their best finish since of 2018. The P6 has. I think they will pretty much remain where they were last year. The problem last year was that Aston Martin started really well, and they got a lot of points, especially Fernando at the start of the season. And towards the end, Gasly was on a charge. Like that was it was putting some great performances. Haas was very consistent throughout the year, scoring points consistently, just not many of them. Also due to the driver pairing being fairly imbalanced for most of the season. I think they will have a closer driver pairing this season, and overall, I think their rivals will have, like, especially Aston. I don't think Aston will have that amazing stretch in the first part of the season. So I think Haas beat Aston Martin this season in terms of constructors championship.
Stroll, I think that car's going to be incredibly quick this year, but I think they'll eventually get around to making it quick enough to be the where they need to.
Fifth best car.
Um, but the main focus is going to be but I do think there's already been changes. I think the fact that another time, but I think the fact they've taken so much paint off their cars, something's going on. I don't think he's allowed to yet, is he?
Mm.
Maybe he can have anyway. And then hit him with the album. So yes, I am go with Haas next as well. I think, as I said before, decently quick. It's a risky one for me, right? I'll go back to Science and Albon. It's a risky one for me, right? Because Science is an amazing driver. I just think it will take him a bit longer, and Albon might get hooked in the first few races, like he has been wanting to do in Australia in the past. With that amazing driveway, didn't take a pit stop. I do think the Williams is going to be significantly faster in the bottom drop cars in the field, and maybe up there with the Hats, and both of them challenging for that position alongside the Aston Martins. I think it's going to be a very tight, thick 7, maybe 5 to 8, and then the other two will be a bit further back. So I'm excited for that. But yes, I'm going for Haas. I think they have nothing to lose this season. They can make a quick car. I think they've got a good driver lineup for the next few years if they wish to keep it. Because I do think Behrman and Ocon are going to be pretty solid drivers. You don't know what the future looks like for Behrman, if I'm honest. Because look, he could move on. I guess he is sort of in contention if Lewis Hamilton, for when Lewis Hamilton eventually leaves. So we'll see in that case. But yes, I think for me now, I'm going to go with the hit car in 6 because I think they'll have a really good season. I really think a lot of the other cars are going to focus on the next year. I don't see a reason why us to do that. Obviously they will, right? But at the same time, they could have a really decent year. And I think they're the ones that are going to focus on.
Yeah, I have a very similar thinking to mine. Basically, has compared to the other teams on the grid, all the teams have like expressed so much like hope for 2026 that they're gonna smash the racks and like come on the top in the top 3 or whatever. Just so many teams that really focus on 2026. I don't feel like that's the case with Haas. I have a strange feeling that they may feel like they're a bit towards the back in 2026, so they just may try to get as much from this year as they can. And having a P6 finish, that would be pretty good for Haas. So yeah, both of us went for P6 for Haas, which is like, yeah, exactly their best constructors position since 2018. That's 7 years ago. I love this hope for Haas. They've been a team that I've been a fan of for a long time. Secretly just want them to do well. Now they have got a. What?
So many new drivers as well. I'm expecting to see a lot of retirements this year, a lot more prep this year than we have seen before because we have so many new drivers in the group. Even Ben Wilson, it's his first full season. Stewart, Behrman, there's so many new drivers. New drivers still in there as well. Excellent drivers.
Yeah, you're right. I got some good points there. Maybe I went a little bit too confident with. Oh, you fixed my Ferrari. Thank you. I went a little confident in Haas, but on the other hand, you were putting P6 as well, so I guess that's fair. All right. Okay. P5, sorry, P10 in the Strava Championship first. Who did I picked Ocon for P10 and Gasly for P9, so I can finish the. Well, I can technically finish the constructors now with Alpine in P5. So basically, Ocon and Gasly will be like the main protagonists for fight for the top of the midfield. Like I think those two will have some great scraps and maybe even collisions, like in their history. And the fight for constructors could be down to them as well. I think Alpine will just come out on top because Alpine just somehow always finishes higher in the constructors than what I expect them normally. So I'm gonna do that exactly this year. I'm gonna put them higher than I would normally put them. Despite I'm not being very optimistic about the driver lineup. I think Gasly is in his prime pretty much as a driver and is basically in his best form of his career. And what he did last year towards the end. Yeah, but I don't think that Alpine will be that good, but we could see Gasly being scoring points pretty much almost every race this season, like around those like P9 and P10s. Maybe sometimes even at the top 8 when the top teams struggle as they used to last season. Like we saw the midfield get some good points being positions throughout the season, like with Gasly towards the end or Hulkenberg with those back-to-back P5s. A lot can happen, especially with the fight at the front being close. And I think Gasly could get some really good spots in those races, as well as Ocon. I just feel like Gasly will have the better car over the entire season, but the worst teammate. And I think the gap between Alpine and Haas will be very close, probably the closest one, if we're not counting Sauber and Racing Bulls. I think we both think that the Sauber and Racing Bulls will be in the fight for P9 and P10. But also Alpine and Haas, I feel like those two will that'll be the midfield fight. Let's get the top of the midfield fight this season. I'm very excited for it as well. So yeah, okay, your turn.
I'll be honest, I like
You say it like every video, but I feel like it's the opposite.
looking at it going, I feel like anyway, I get two of next up, I'm going to go Ocon. Just because I feel like, he's going to really go racing this season. He really wants to prove to the Alpine, to everyone in F1, I'm quick. And he is quick. He's a very quick driver when he wants to be. And I think he's going to do well this season. I really do. He's going to be really crunching that match. As I said before, I think he is going to get into incident, but I don't care. And in ninth place, I am going to put Alonso. I wanted to really avoid basically putting Alonso ninth and then the top eight in the top 8, but I couldn't. Understood that. Yeah, it's Alonso. Superb driver, and even if I think the Aston Martin is that quick this year, and be a lot more into that midfield, he's the one that's going to keep it safe. He's the one that's not going to get into incidents, and it's just going to, drive his car as quickly as possible and as well as possible. And then I really do think Aston Martin are either going to see improvement throughout the season or come into the season with a decently quick car, as they seem to do every season. For the last 2 seasons, they come in with a quick car and then it's become slower. I feel like the opposite might happen this year. And they might come in with a slightly slower car that gets quicker. But yes, I think just he is the safe pair of hands. That safe, I think Aston Martin will be okay. They tend to just do that.
Okay, that's the midfield. Oh, done. And top 8 and top 4 teams. I like that we pretty much separated the midfield from the top 4 teams. It makes sense. It's pretty much how the Formula One is right now. Even though I could see maybe the top midfield drivers like Gasly, Ocon, and Alonso being close to the rookies in the top teams that we have, but all depends on how the quick the cars are. Like if it's the same as last year, I don't think they're gonna be near them. But maybe maybe if certain drivers struggle, like we could see, we saw Perez having like being outscored by like most of the midfield towards the end of the season. Like that can happen, but it's also like, do I see it happening? Not really. P8 for me, Liam Lawson. Yeah, I don't have much confidence in Liam, even though I think he definitely deserves to be on the grid. I just don't feel like it's the Red Bull seat. But yeah, he will make me eat my words. And maybe he will actually be like close to Max, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think this is gonna be another Gasly Albon situation. Like put a driver in too early, too soon. He's gonna struggle, and all the pressure, all the media is gonna pile up on him, and he just I don't think he's ready yet for the Red Bull seat. Like, as many drivers have not been before him. Perez as a candidate was all right, but he just couldn't keep up with his. Basically, he couldn't. Perez couldn't settle for being number 2 driver, and then when things got bad, he just spiraled into even worse performances. When it comes to the rookies, it's very similar, but I think Perez had the experience to have that good performance, and once in a while, he just wasn't good enough for the seat anymore. His mental state was destroyed. When it comes to the rookies, they're fresh. They don't have much expectations, but still, Liam. I don't think Red Bull will be happy if he keeps being knocked out in Q2 or whatever. Just they want him to be at least in the top 8 every single time. I just don't feel like that's gonna happen. I still feel like Lawson's gonna get the top 8 over the midfield drivers, but especially with the Red Bull not being as dominant as they were a couple of years back. I'm worried for Lawson, because if Red Bull kill another driver's career, yeah, we're having 22 seats next season, but is Lawson getting a drive over any of the drivers next season if he gets destroyed by Max Verstappen this season, like destroyed in Perez 2024 levels? Because that's very much possible. I feel like Lawson's career could end here because of Red Bull's decision. I'm just so sad. But Yuki wasn't given the chance, but yeah, that's mostly politics. Yuki's time, as you said, Yuki's time as Racing Bulls is over after a season. His only chance is to get the Aston Martin, or he's getting out in Formula One probably as well. It all just depends on how the rookies perform, honestly. I don't see Lawson remaining in Formula One after this season. I hope he proves me wrong, but I just don't feel confident in Liam. Sorry. P7, similar situation. I think Antonelli will be alright. He will not be as bad as some people may think. Just has too much raw talent to be that bad. I just don't feel like he's gonna be near George Russell. George Russell is a huge talent in himself. Like, when it comes to raw talent, George is probably almost up there with Max and Charles. Like, when it comes to the younger generation, obviously there's also Lewis and Fernando, but I just don't feel like those two are in the same category because of obviously age and so on. I think Russell is in that conversation with Leclerc and Norris, and he may just prove that this season when he convincingly beats Antonelli, because Antonelli is meant to be the next Max Verstappen, but also he's he's still 18 years old. You just cannot expect a rookie, an 18-year-old, to jump into a potentially podium getting car and to start beating his teammate who's just a huge super talent in himself. Like George Russell beat Lewis Hamilton over those 2 seasons. In points didn't, but over the seasons, I guess I can say that. And even being anywhere near close to matching Lewis Hamilton is a huge achievement in itself. George Russell is a huge talent, and Antonelli, as much as I seem to like him, but I just don't feel like he's going to be anywhere near George. And P4 when it comes to the constructors is going to be Red Bull for me. Yeah, I'm just not feeling well about the rookies. Even though I think they should get a chance of Formula One. All of them, I think, deserve it. I just don't feel like it's at the top teams. I think it's too early. Lawson and Antonelli, I'm very worried about them. I really am. Sorry, I got something in my throat. Go on, please. You put them into my.
Particularly quick. In the same way, I don't think Mercedes are going to be particularly quick. My reasoning for both of them. They're both rookies. They're both going into very successful, very talented young drivers. You talked about George Russell there. He obviously beat Lando in his first ever, in F2 and so on, and proved to be very quick there. He's now got a lot of strain on him being the top driver at Mercedes. But yes, I do think that both of the cars, I don't think Mercedes and Red Bull's best interest to care about. Right? I think, in terms of the cars they have, it's obviously a lot quicker than any of the midfield ones, really. Mercedes might need to put a little bit more pace into it. And these two are teams that expect to be at the top given their success over the last 15 years. They are literally the two cars to win every constructors until last year. So I really think they're going to just go, right, well, let's not focus on this year. Let's focus on making the best car for 2026 and beyond, both the teams. And I do think that's good to score over both rookies. Whether or not that means they get kicked out of the team, I don't think so. I don't really see anyone remotely talented left in F1 to kick them out, right? Unless Colapinto does come in and shine. In that case, Red Bull might look him up and down and go, okay, we can have him. But he has got a big long contract at the same time. So I don't think that will be the case. And in terms of the rest of the midfield teams, you're going, okay, well, would they get signed? No, they should have got last season, but dads hate each other, like stuff. And the one they're not going to go and get him again. The Aston Martin drivers, why would they leave Aston Martin? That seems like a risk you don't want to take. And then, just the rest of the team, they're definitely not going to get Sonoda. They should have done that last season. The rest of the drivers, I just don't see them getting. I don't see Red Bull going in, getting Ollie Byrne. I don't see them getting Ocon. So I think they will see him out of Lawson for the time being, at least until the next. Unless he has a stick, but I really don't think he's going to do as bad as He'll just be there. He'll just be there. However, I am going to say I reckon purely for the Max Verstappen. As I said, I don't see these two teams being at the top. I'm going to put Mercedes purely because I think Max Verstappen will get more points than Russell will, and Antonelli won't be enough combined to overtake. So yeah,
Interesting. All right. And top six, I think that's gonna be a uh, uh, this is gonna be a controversial topic as well. You're not gonna like my picks, I think. Well, maybe you will, maybe you won't. I'm going with a big one at the start, Lewis Hamilton in P6. Okay, this is not on Lewis. Lewis Hamilton is an undeniable goat. Literally, like he's won so many everything. I don't think he's lost it. I think he will be very motivated, very good, winning races even this season. Just being beaten by Charles Leclerc. I think that's a huge task for him to expect to beat Charles Leclerc in his team, especially after that Mercedes stretch. I still feel like Lewis is like still one of the best drivers on the grid. There's no denying that. On his day, he's pretty much the best. Especially on the race day, he has that crazy good like tire management plus race management. Is just so elite to look at the races he was motivated in. Like we saw in Silverstone, like he had all the motivation in the world and he just won that race. Yeah, I feel like Lewis still has it. When it comes to this season specifically, there's so much hype around Ferrari that I haven't seen in ever since like 2022. People seem to forget that Ferrari is Ferrari. Like that's the team that has when it has expectations put upon itself, it struggles, and I think Ferrari will have exactly that season. Like everyone will expect them to fight for a championship. They will the exact opposite. They will fumble the strategies, fumble the pit stops. Even the car will not be as good as people may think. I think this will be more of a Ferrari thing. Unfortunately, for such a good travel lineup that Leclerc and Hamilton is, I was very confident in Ferrari like a month ago, but then I realized, yeah, it's Ferrari. When they were confident in Ferrari, they just let you down because it's Ferrari. It's just how it goes. I've learned my lesson over the years, and I'm gonna go with this. If they overperform, if they beat my predictions, because last year I put Leclerc to win the championship. He was very good, but wasn't anywhere near the championship in the end. It's like 80 points or whatever between him and Max. I'm not gonna be as confident this year. I'm gonna be the exact opposite. And if Ferrari beats my expectations, I'm gonna be happy. That's all. I'm gonna have my expectations low for Ferrari, so they don't break my heart again. I'm not like a full Ferrari fan, but I really like the team. I just like everyone's a Ferrari fan. Everyone's a Ferrari fan in a way, as like Sepp said. I wanted to win a championship, especially with such a good driver lineup. And yeah, that pretty much sums up Ferrari. I think what was that? P3 for Ferrari. This may be controversial. This is probably very controversial. Like P3 for Ferrari, you'd expect them to be at least top two, but no, I literally think Ferrari, if they get top two, I'm gonna be happy. that's the lowest expectation I can have them. Like as long as they beat my expectations, I'm gonna be happy. I just please Ferrari, don't screw up. Yeah, this is like the one season they have such a huge chance in. Yeah, I know. I want to leave that. I was thinking. Basically, my decision was that either I put Ferrari third, or I put George Russell fifth. I went to switch it up. I went with Charles Leclerc in P5 instead, which is horrendous. Do think that, yeah, this both Ferraris out of the top four. It's not. I want to be bold, but I have my expectations very low. Basically, it's basically anti-Ferrari strategy. Like they cannot screw me up, right, like this, right? They if they get below these predictions, I think I will lose all hope that I have for a Ferrari. Honestly, this is basically me doing the reverse jinx or how it's called. Like, oh, come on, Ferrari, don't prove me wrong, please. uh, yeah. When it comes to Charles, earlier on, like a month ago, I was thinking about my predictions from the season. I legit have Leclerc fight for the championship, maybe even winning it. And now I had to do this, so I wouldn't be as depressed as I was last season. Seeing Charles Leclerc's season, he started really well. Like he was getting top four in every single race. Then Ferrari brought some upgrades and he was getting out in Q3, putting wet tires on the dry track, and so I was just all the Ferrari things came back, and I was like, okay, this team is still Ferrari. You cannot be serious. It's just yeah, okay, Ferrari being Ferrari. I cannot have hope in them, and yeah, whenever I have hope in Ferrari, things go wrong. So this time, I'm for the love of God, I'm having no hope in Ferrari. Please prove me wrong. Okay, I should probably end this. Probably I've been waiting for a turn for a long time. Sorry for the yap session. I just had to get it out of me. Oh, okay.
Last year really just proved that they're stuck with this car. They have obviously redesigned it to be new and fancy and so on. So I think that those changes might amount to something like in fifth place because of that. Um, yeah, that's sort of my reasoning now. I do think that it's just going to be one of those seasons where Mercedes aren't going to really, they don't have, they've never had the car of this generation. They went into 2022, they were slow, and they have this design philosophy with the no chunky bits on the outside that I can't think of right now. It's just not gone well for them ever since. I just think that they're going to be focused on these two drivers going into 2026 instead. Just sort of get into their pace and let George do George things. I don't think they're going to be particularly incredibly quick. My next team is also going to be Red Bull, very boring top, or at least start of my top four. Again, I think Red Bull are also going to be focused on next year and giving the staff the best car you can, mainly because they've lost Adrian Newey, and I think that's going to put a little bit of the fear into them. In terms of this year's car, they obviously slowly were falling out of favour last year, and I think this year is going to be a lot more based around the idea that they have to consolidate and do better going into 2026. That's my reasoning for that. I just think that they're not going to be quick because of that. But to be fair, it's Red Bull. They've come into the last few seasons so much quicker than everyone else. So they can make me back out. But I think based on their performances last year, since Newey left as well, the team pretty much as soon as Newey left, it started falling apart. So they're going to have to consolidate and try and do better. But they do have the absolute king of the
Yeah. Sorry, you forgot your P5.
you're really, really he wasn't, especially towards the end of the season in the past 2 years, has dropped off massively. So I think that's going to be the case against him this year. I really do think the top four is going to be ultra competitive. So I just couldn't put him in because I haven't seen ultra competitive. You know, and he was told to stay behind, you know, Norris, but I do think that was for the reason that Norris was quicker last year. Yeah, I haven't really seen. I've seen him do well, right? I think he's a good driver. I've seen him do really well. I've not seen him obliterate like I've seen from Norris, like I've seen from Leclerc, Hamilton, Verstappen, even Russell has a good race in the past. So yeah, I just don't see that killing it.
Wow. Piastri and P5. That's surprisingly closer than I to me. So I thought you will be. I honestly thought that you would put like Piastri in our top two. Probably was thinking just wrong. Anyways, I have Piastri up next in P4. Piastri. The speed is there. The race crowd is there. And unlike your opinion, I think the killing instinct is there as well. The ability to dominate, to win those battles that not many drivers can. I just...
Defend myself. I guess I've never seen him like win a race like that.
Oh, of course. I get you. Well, where was I? Sorry. But I want to say that the main thing that I talk about through the entire season last year, he lacks the consistency. That's his main problem. He has all he needs. He just needs to put it out there every weekend. I don't think it's going to happen this season. He's still his third season in Formula One. He's very, very young, and like when you think about it, third season in Formula One, compared to Charles. Charles was third season was 2020. Max's was 2017. Lando was 2021. Those seasons, maybe Charles in 2020 was very, very good, but those seasons were known for them three being already the drivers' world championships level caliber drivers. They're extremely good, probably future world championships level, but just not at that level yet. Especially Max 2017, he was still getting called crashed up, and then he was getting beaten by Daniel Ricciardo. 2020, he destroyed Vettel, but it's I think 2020 Ferrari was a similar situation to Alpine last year, but that's maybe only my opinion. And 2021 Lando, he was beaten by Sainz, I think, as well. So yeah, third season for one. That's what I'm trying to say. He's still very young. He's still very fresh. He's still getting ready, and in a couple of seasons' time, he can be one of the best drivers on the grid. And I think he has the potential. As I said before, I think his potential is higher than Lando's. But Lando has been here for so long, and he's the more complete driver at the moment. And I just feel like Piastri will still have not that the gap will be huge. I think when it comes to the top four in my drivers' championship, I think that will be extremely close. Maybe it's 60 points separating the top four, but I just feel like Piastri still lacks that consistency compared to Norris to beat him over entire season. I've seen a lot of people predicting Piastri over Norris. I just don't see it happening at the moment. Piastri just lacks the consistency. That's all. He has all the tools except that one. All right, P3. Very controversial, probably, but Max Verstappen, in my opinion, he'll not win a fifth world title in a row. he will still be up there. He will still be fighting for a title. I have no doubts about that. I don't think Red Bull will screw up this season. I still feel like there will be a similar situation as towards the end of the last year, where they were there. Max was winning races. Still Max Verstappen. He can win the fourth best car. We see that Max Verstappen, like we see him dominating. We also see when he doesn't have clear the best car. Like Brazil 2024 is a good example. Like he was up against all the odds, and then in the end, like he actually won by such a huge margin. Yeah, those safety cars helped with him overtaking Ocon, but still, like Max is a driver you can never count off when it comes to trying for the world title unless he has like I right now, even if he gets put in a like 2019 Red Bull compared to the Merc and Ferraris, I still feel like he would fight for the title because he's just much better than he was in 2019. Max Verstappen, in my opinion, the best driver in Formula One right now. I just don't feel a realistic way that he's out of the title fight. Yeah, he's P3, way lower than he's been in the last 4 years, but still feel like he's gonna be up there. Just not quite with the car capable of winning the World Drivers' Championship. Just that. All right. And for the constructors, P2 obviously Mercedes. Bit bold and controversial here. Well, maybe not controversial, just bold. Mercedes is the team out of the top four teams with I think the least faith from the fans and from generally the public. I feel like Mercedes could be the dark horse this season. They generally looked very good towards the end of last season. Like at times they were even the best car we saw in Las Vegas. George Russell had the best qualifying average at the second half of the season. Like that's something you cannot forget. The Mercedes, despite them not being that consistent, they still have the pace. And maybe next season could be that season that they actually find the pace to be very competitive. And that's pretty much what I'm predicting. Before I show off my Drivers' Championship, because my constructors is now very obvious. I'm gonna put that there. McLaren with the constructors again. Gonna talk about that after my final pick, so you go on.
Next up, I'm going also for on I'm going for Max Verstappen in Q4. Again, I don't think that's his fault. I think he's still going to win a lot of races, but I don't think that car's very quick. But with Max Verstappen, he still ekes out performances. But at the same time, when he is in those midfield ranges, he does still tend to get into scraps and scrapes a bit more. And especially with Antonelli also and the other drivers there, that could be potentially something that happens a lot more. And him and Russell hate each other. So I think, say it's more on Red Bull. But even with the Red Bull last season, I'm pretty sure he was the best driver in the second half of the season. Anyway, so third place is tricky, but just for the tension of it all, I'm going to put Lando Norris.
Wow.
Really made the season last season, but showed some lack of cutting edge. I do think he's coming to his own. I think it's very hard for a young driver to experience their first season in F1 where they are challenging for a title. I think just because we've seen Hamilton and Verstappen and even Vettel for so long dominate and sort of just win races by like 10 seconds, 15, 20 seconds every time. And Norris didn't really do that until the end of the season. So I do think he was perhaps unfairly treated there. But for the sake of it, I do think he is going to be quicker this year, and that should make sense that I am picking McLaren up next. Uh, the reason for my top two, I'll put Ferrari there, 5 on 3. The reason for my top two is these two teams have a lot more to care about, right? I don't think Red Bull and Mercedes really have to care about the championship, right? They can focus a lot more in the next few years, whereas McLaren and Ferrari, especially towards the end of the season, they had the quicker two cars. Obviously, Mercedes kept jumping into there every now and again, but I'd say they definitely have the quicker two cars throughout the season. Um, and they proved it in the fact that they won the championship, second first. So I do think these two might actually be the ones more likely to upgrade their cars and so on. I just feel, look, I have to pick Ferrari, and I'll talk about that.
Wow. I'm like, wow. Ferrari won too. Okay, I like this. I like this. We're very different, and that's exactly, yeah. I really like that we're so different. Because yeah, we're having two different teams at the constructors and the drivers championships. It's wow. All right. Time for this one. As we still have the dull predictions to do. Right. Lando and George, top two. As I said earlier, I think the top four will be very close, especially the top three mainly. But I still feel like when the car matters the most, it's sorry, when what matters the most is the car, and I feel like in this case, yeah, just Lando probably wins this over them, mainly due to him being an improved version of last year. That's pretty much what I think. McLaren, when it comes to last year after Miami, or well, Miami onwards, right? McLaren upgrades. They win the Miami Grand Prix with Lando. Over the stretch from Miami to Abu Dhabi, the driver with the most points is Max Verstappen, and that's what I think is going to change because I think Lando will be better this season. And as good as I think George and Max are, I feel like Lando will have the edge in the car a little bit, which just gives it the edge in the championship. That means George Russell in P2, which is also a very good result. This is very difficult to support with arguments, right? But like, not maybe not the Lando championship, but Russell in P2 especially. This is more of me thinking that Mercedes will finally unlock the pace from their car more consistently, at least. And I think George Russell is, well, last season it was like one of my top four drivers on the grid, like alongside last season alongside Max, Charles, and I think Lando. I had there, right? I had George in like P4, or maybe even higher. I don't know. I feel like the top five that I've given myself, the top five drivers are like the young generation of elite talent. Then behind them, Jose Lewis, difficult to judge with all the circumstances. Then it's the two rookies in the top teams, and it's the midfield. Yep, you know what? I will not try to explain it much further. I'm very excited also for your pick because I think you've basically picked one of the Ferraris above Norris just to have the tension of who's going to win the. Well, so yeah, I'm excited for that. So I'll let you go.
It's sort of the reason I think Ferrari is going Ferrari really have nothing this season. They can plan to be on 2026. But for this season, they kept getting so close, closer and closer. And they finally done it, right? They finally, they got second again. And it wasn't even to the Red Bulls this time. And I think that's a curse. But they have now got two of the quickest drivers on the grid, and perhaps in F1 history. The third is one of the best qualifiers out there. Lewis Hamilton, who used to be one of the best qualifiers out there, and has the qualifying record. And both incredible races as well. Both with a huge level of maturity, both really solid. They're both incredible drivers, right? And I can't remember through history. The last few years, at least, that I've been alive, a driving pairing that's been this good, right? I can't think of one. Go Hamilton and Rosberg probably, and then last one that was this good. But even then, the questions about Rosberg for a long time, but they did manage to prove it. So yeah, they're both amazing drivers, and I don't know where to put them. In one hand, Leclerc has been at this team for ages. He has the experience of the team, and as I talked about earlier, Albon, that's really important. He has the fire to actually want to get it done. Last season, you could see him getting increasingly annoyed at the fact he wasn't getting it done. And on the other hand, it's Lewis Hamilton, right? He should be the 8-time world champion. He is just incredible when he actually cares. The last few seasons, he not care. He fell off his qualifying pace a lot more. But great pace is still there. I am gonna go. I'm gonna go with Leclerc and Hamilton. Hamilton has to be the champion. Not twice, but 8. I don't think it would be perfect for Ferrari to hit. Ferrari hasn't had a world championship in 2007. So, don't want to get that much. It's perfect for them to him to get the 8 and to sort of cement this legacy, right? Doing it with Ferrari as well. Something Alonso and Vettel could do, despite both being incredible drivers. Something that so many drivers have done in the past. Something that would make him a legend. A Ferrari, not just the sport of Ferrari, which means something different to being just a legend of the sport. That's why. That's why I have to
I gotta admit, I knew you'd go to pick Lewis for the champions after I saw Norris P3. Yeah, basically, this is more of a manifestation than a prediction, at least from my perspective. I get it. I actually believe in him. I do too. I believe Ferrari pairing will be very close. Don't get me wrong. I just get them top 2. I knew it was going to happen. You will never put Leclerc or Hamilton in this situation. I just know you too well. I would love your predictions to come true, honestly. As much as I'm a fan of Leclerc, it's been out there for quite a while. I Leclerc is my top 3 favorite drivers right now. I would love to see Lewis Hamilton win his 8th world championship with Ferrari. It would be probably one of the greatest things to ever happen to this sport, honestly. It's just wow. Wow, I just yeah. Now that I see it, because your predictions would probably be my predictions like a month ago if we would do them. Instead, I actually waited and thought about my belief in Ferrari. I'm glad I went differently because now we're having different predictions. I think that's very exciting as well. Okay. Wow. All right. Let's get to the bold predictions because we're already recording for quite a bit. Okay. Starting with mine, I'm gonna go with the all right closest pairing in terms of pace. So this is, I think this is bold enough, right? Sauber being the closest pairing in terms of pace. I genuinely think Bortoleto will surprise many people how close he will be to Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg will probably come out on the top thanks to his experience. He's still like extremely quick, especially in qualifying. But Bortoleto will is honestly my rookie of the season. As a prediction, I think Bortoleto will surprise many people and will actually be very, very good. With the machinery he will be given, obviously.
All races I said before, having so many young drivers in the F1 grid is for the first time. I believe that we might have four plus, I should say, races this season where a driver doesn't finish. Uh, so yeah, that's a crazy one.
Yeah, it is crazy. Wow. This actually may not sound that bold, but it's actually bold when you think about it. Like very, very bold. Uh, I believe there wasn't a race with like 12 or less drivers finishing this in 2024, right? Maybe there was one. I'm forgetting. Qatar. I think that had like 15 finishers. Pretty sure. Yeah, it's a very risky one. Probably way bolder than mine. Actually, think about it. Okay, second ball prediction. Okay, okay, I remember now. It's about Max Verstappen, and I think Max Verstappen will win the Bahrain Grand Prix for the third time in a row, and will win the season opener once again. Despite him finishing P3 in the standings, I'm confident Max will win Bahrain once again. Everyone will think like, yeah, that Max has got another title in him, and yeah, this is not like, as bold, but considering my predictions and yours too, I guess is fairly out there. Like saying a specific driver wins the Grand Prix with the amount of competition we have right now. Like you wouldn't bet on Max winning the Bahrain Grand Prix if it was like the race 23 of last season, for example. Like when it comes to the pecking order, I think just Max and Bahrain. I just see it's just in my head. Max is winning the Bahrain Grand Prix and being leading the championship for one more race, well, maybe even more. He's already got the record for leading the championship for the most days in Formula One history. He may just well extend it with one more race weekend, at least. Okay, I know. Okay, oh, okay. Now I feel stupid about Bahrain actually isn't the season opener. Sorry. Uh, okay, I will keep it. I will keep it. You know what? I will keep it because it's still all right. Okay, probably won't, but you know what? I'll stick with it. Hmm. So a a championship decider between Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc at Ferrari. In the maybe even Norris and Verstappen, but especially the Ferrari pairing being the drivers' championship being decided in the last race of the season. Like the amount of publicity that would bring to Formula One would be like Abu Dhabi 21 levels, maybe even more, considering it's Ferrari. Wow, your timeline is so like cinematic almost. Like it's something that it's almost like from a dream. I don't know. I like your hope because you're way more hopeful than I am, man. Maybe it's a good thing. Yeah, you had no hope, and I was like fully on Ferrari mode. I had them waiting for both championships. It wasn't like yeah, they almost won the constructors to be fair, but it wasn't meant to be, I guess. But this year you're like full Ferrari mode. On the other hand, like very pessimistic. It's a good contrast. I like it. Okay. Third bold prediction for me is okay. Now that I think about it, I just okay. I have to think something. I had those two in mind while they were doing the standings, but now I have to make something out of clear air. Hmm. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna go with this. Six different teams on the podium. Uh, okay, podium is not correct. Podium. Okay, that's right. That basically means the top four teams. That's obvious, and two midfield teams on the podium during the season. Last year we had five. Well, maybe did we have Alonso on the podium? I don't think so. I want to say he did, but I just think he didn't because yeah, his best shot was like the China Sprint, I think. Yeah, I don't think he had a podium last season, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we had five teams on the podium last season. I think this is going to change to six.
Yeah. I'm going to similar. Seven different. Um, Originally, I had this at eight, but the like you said, top drivers now I think he's making tricky for Antonelli and Melissa to win a race. But I think one of them will do it, or someone from the outside. Yeah.
Yeah, last Stroll first win Formula One would be great. Uh, Okay, I like your prediction. I like your prediction. Last season we had seven as well, right? Because Ocon didn't win Brazil, unfortunately. But yeah, the seven obviously from the top four teams apart from Perez. Seven different, yeah, that means pretty much the same as last season. Although last season, I mean, seven different winners, seven different multiple race winners as well. Like that was the best season for Formula One in terms of stats. Okay. For full prediction, and that will be. All right. Three different drivers link the championship for the season. This is basically me alluding to there being a title fight. Yeah, I generally think this could happen. For last season, we had so many swings in the performance between the teams. Yeah, some were more consistent like than others, like McLaren and Ferrari. But this season, I could see start off with it being very unpredictable. We could see like McLaren being so very good in Australia, then coming to what's next, China or Japan? What's after Australia? Actually, I think it's China. Then we could see like Ferrari winning, and then in race three, then we could see Max winning and so on. I think it could change a lot, and we could see at least at the start of a season where the things are very close. Three different drivers leading the World Drivers Championship. Um, yeah.
I guess the next one is going to be, I expect one rookie to shock everyone against a teammate.
Which one is that? Makes your prediction. I cannot.
Because my predictions are very just basic, right? And a lot of people won't go, oh, this rookie's going to beat this driver. Because it doesn't look like it, especially with how good the drivers good accompanying them on. And I've got Ocon, them, and Lawson, Verstappen, Antonelli, Russell, even like Hulkenberg, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think one of them is going to be just shockingly way better. There's a lot of rookies do fail, but there is always one or two that come in the sport and amazing.
Hmm. All right. I like this. Well, I didn't predict any rookie to beat their teammate as well. The closest I've got is Sauber, as I already predicted with my first pole prediction. Yeah, honestly, when I think about it, probably either the Sauber one or maybe Racing Bulls. Like maybe Hajar beating Tsunoda, although that's also very hard to see. I don't know. Okay, if you have to pick one driver, yeah, I don't have to predict the specific driver like your prediction kind of stuff, but you have to pick one rookie you think could be the one. Behrman? All right, all right, okay, okay. For my last prediction of this video is the prediction number 5, and that would be. I'll end with something that I want to get in here. George Russell with the most pole positions in the season. Uh, basically, last season I was very impressed with his qualifying, and this season I'm basically giving him a better car in my predictions. I think this is a very solid prediction. It's very bold considering the expectations for Mercedes, but it's not that bold compared to my predictions themselves. But obviously, my predictions themselves aren't very realistic, especially with the top three. Yeah, Russell is. He was regarded as a Mr. Saturday. He kind of fell off despite him being. I'm pretty sure he beat Lewis in all 3 seasons in terms of qualifying. Which is like, yeah, you beat the driver with the most pole positions in Formula One over the 3 seasons that you were together. That's quite an achievement. I think Russell is exceptional over a lap. In my opinion, yeah, up there with Leclerc and Verstappen over a lap. Yeah, I just feel like he's gonna. Mercedes will be a good car in terms of qualifying, at least. Maybe not as quick in terms of race pace, but I wanted to get this prediction out. I just believe in Mercedes for some reason.
My final one is going to be Stafford. This season, as I said before, I don't think that's the him. I think it'll be a Red Bull.
Top five in the drivers or in the okay, top five. That means six or lower. That's wow. What a tractor that Red Bull would need to be for that to happen. Oh my god, I like the prediction. Okay, not that I would wish for Max to have a horrible car, but it would give Formula One a breath of fresh air to not see Max Verstappen winning that often, like we saw in that stretch from. I think it was Canada or Spain was Max's last win, up until obviously Brazil when he won from 17th. Yeah, that stretch of the season was very exciting, and if that continues to the season, if Red Bull really screws up this year's car as well, and then proceeds to focus on the 2026 as you've predicted, this could definitely happen. But also is extremely bold to think that Red Bull would not be at least capable of giving Max a car for top five. That's wow. I like your prediction. I really like them, especially the bold ones. Like if all our predictions if all our predictions actually come true, I would be happier with them than with mine. Obviously, that's it's kind of obvious with the Ferrari predictions, but I really like your predictions. I really like them. I would love for them to actually happen. Yours are more exciting, and mine are probably more bold. I would say overall. Maybe you're disagreeing. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Oh wow, that's been a quite a video. I've had a lot of fun. This is getting me so much more excited for 2025 as well. We have still one season till the regulation change, and this could be the best season since 2021, maybe even better. We'll see. Oh man, we're a couple of weeks away, and we're a week away from testing, 3 weeks away, I believe, from the Bahrain Grand Prix. So yeah, it's almost there. I'm very excited. Oh my god! Oh yeah, I've had such a bad mood before this recording. Now I'm the exact opposite. I don't know what you are, but you are like my talisman for a good mood. I don't know how to do it, but after every recording, I'm just feeling so much better. Thank you. So much. All right. Now that we have finished, any last comments, thoughts, anything?
We'll come back and do our, we're going to do predictions
Predict after testing, obviously. Yeah. We'll do that like a week before Bahrain Grand Prix. So that's in like 2 weeks from now, I believe. Basically, after testing, the first Thursday after testing. So in 2 weeks it should be, because next week we're doing the livery rankings. After we've seen the cars on track, it's in Bahrain, so it's gonna be like nighttime. So the liveries we're gonna see them both in nighttime and daytime. It's also exciting. All right. Now that we're finished, I believe you can take care of the outro as well because you're very good at them. And yeah, next video, hopefully I'll try the intro and I'll fail as I've did many times. Okay, take the wheel.
Motivate us, make us happy. So, consider doing that. But thank you very much for watching. As always,
Peace.